Hello, my beautiful hearts. It is your favorite spiritualist, the Aquarian Alchemist. And I'm here. I am here to do a video on my latest blog, The Law of Attraction versus the Law of Assumption. Which one manifests faster? Okay, so I've been online. I've been on TikTok, YouTube, and I've been in these spiritual streets, these LOA streets. And what I'm seeing is there's a whole new movement of, I mean, the law of assumption, gurus, which, there's the law of attraction and there's the law of assumption. So they're kind of like divided. And it kind of caused me to delve a little deeper and say, okay, is the law of attraction obsolete now that people are moving on to the law of assumption? People aren't really, a lot of people are saying, I don't do the law of assumption, law of attraction. I don't manifest in that way anymore. I use law of assumption now. So it made me do a little research in case you're in this process of trying to figure out which one would work better for you, law of attraction or law of assumption. I want to break the two down and kind of explain what I see going on here and which ones I use and why. Okay. So the law of attraction, got popular when The Secret came out years ago. It's like, I want to say 2010. I mean, it was, yeah, like 2014, 15. It's been a long time since Law of Attraction came out. I mean, since The Secret came out, but that was like the big boom where everybody was like, okay, Law of Attraction. But you know, Law of Attraction is really about shifting your energy, understanding how your thoughts create manifestations within your physical world, and understanding basically, this is one of the universal 12 universal laws, right? So that's what the law of attraction is about, and after this, this is when the vision boards and the visualization and all this kind of thing got really big, right? It's still big, it still works, okay? But it helps you understand your thoughts and your feelings and how, when and ultimately your vibration, okay? And understanding that when your vibration is high, um you know you can better manifest good things. You can manifest whether your vibration is high or your vibration is low, okay? Let me put that out there. It doesn't matter. You're constantly and always manifesting. That was the secret, right? No matter what's going on, you are manifesting, whether that's good things, whether that's not so good things. So you're manifesting life experiences, and the next the shape of your experience, basically. So the secret was to know that, and to consciously influence your thoughts, consciously influence, so you can consciously create your world to a certain extent, right? Okay, so what you'll notice, and I do have my notes, y'all know how I do, I'm very organized here, so make sure I cover everything. But so you'll see me look back and forth here. But the small synchronicities, uplifting your mood, how you're showing up in life, and learning to tune your vibration, learning to tune your frequency, basically, or to tune into the higher frequency in order to be on that wavelength of attracting those higher experiences, okay? Now, when it comes to the law of assumption, which has really gotten popular over the last like 5 to 10 years, it's really, you know, it's more about embodiment. It's more of becoming who you want, not just thinking, but, embodiment, right? Okay. So it's about becoming more consistent with your energy alignment, okay? This is like you're living in this place, you're not needing as much redirecting back to, you're not needing, you may still do your affirmations, you may still do, you may have all your tools in place, you may have your boards, you may have your visual cues and things like that, you may still manifest. You may still do your 3-6-9 method or whatever it is that you do. You may still do your scripting, but you are more consistently in that vibration by the time you're in law of assumption, because you have assumed this position of, say if I'm manifesting being a millionaire, I'm assuming this position of being that millionaire, mogul, CEO, model, whatever. It's like, I'm not becoming a model, I am a model. I'm not becoming a CEO, I am a CEO. So that's kind of the difference, right? So the tools are like, daily rituals and self-talk. So like I said, when you're doing the law of attraction, it's that kind of very new beginning, awkward stage of, okay, getting these affirmations in, making sure, what I said before, we're overriding our system. We're overriding the process and bringing in what we actually want versus what is bombarding us from every direction through media, ads, and all these other things that are just, in our mix, right? So the purpose is to, see bigger results. With law of assumption, supposedly you will see bigger results in that, for a lot of people is the goal. You'll have less, people feel like it's less downtime, right? Or it's less turnaround with the law of assumption than with the law of attraction. And, I don't feel like that's because of the technique. I feel like it's because of when you're in the law of attraction, you're just learning to attract. You're just now getting into this consciousness of, wow, okay, what I'm thinking about, what I'm dwelling on, what I'm giving my attention to, I'm attracting more of it to me. Okay. And by the time you're coming into law of assumption, it's like, okay, I got this. I already know. I'm not even going there. I'm not even thinking about that. I can't give my attention to that. I can't give my time to that. You're at a different level. So for me, the way I see it, I see them as different levels, right? I feel like they're both necessary, and I use both. Okay, let's skip to the good part. I use both, right? And not only that, but I feel like the law of assumption is a little bit more advanced, and it is for people who are more advanced. People who are in the law of assumption, who are really benefiting from it, who are really able to call in and hold their manifestations, they have done shadow work. I've run across a few of these law of assumption gurus, and I don't know how much shadow work they have done, because shadow work is a necessary component that people don't like to talk about, or like people like to leave out. So when you're in that law of attraction stage, you're really, really working on your mind, your thought process. Where does my mind go? Getting a handle on your idle thoughts, on the monkey mind, as they would call it. Louise Hay and Abraham Hicks, and the different gurus, that who originated and it started this really, presenting this information, talk about, the monkey mind and how your thoughts can run away, and you have misalignments, or you're just manifesting things because you have no control over your thoughts, or consciously or subconsciously. So when you're doing this shadow work, and how this ties in is, you're healing, right? And when you become conscious and when you begin healing, that's when you can begin to take control and really override, okay, oh my gosh, I was always told that I was stupid as a child, and now I've graduated high school, I've graduated college, I have a degree, but I still feel this imposter syndrome and like I'm not smart. Okay, that's because you have to heal that childhood wound, or you have to heal that issue on a deeper level, on another level. You've already proven to yourself that you're not stupid. but you still have to do that healing so you can fully attract in the life or lifestyle and be able to maintain the life or lifestyle. Because even, okay, so even if you go to college and you do all this and you're living a nice lifestyle, if you're still having this tape recorder running in the back of your head of you're stupid, you're never going to be anything, you're never going to have anything, you will gravitate and you will manifest the thing that you want, and then you will sabotage it and you will lose it. That's because the shadow work hasn't been done. Okay, that's that area that I feel like people want to overlook and think, oh, just if you just think about what you want and become it, and they make it sound very easy. They make it sound just like it's just a thought, or just sit in your room and don't eat or drink and think about this all day. That stuff works, yes, but doing that for one day is not going to override your whole childhood, teenage year, and young adult years when your parent was speaking to you harshly, or your grandparent or your father or your abusive relationship, whatever the case may be. It's deeper than that. Okay. And I want people to understand this. And this is why some people look at the laws of the universe and law of attraction and this stuff as foo-foo, and this is not real, because they can't see the benefit of it, because they don't understand the different layers and the deeper work that needs to be done. Okay, it's important. Okay. It is. So by the time you get to the law of assumption, right? And that's what people want to skip past the law of attraction and run to the law of assumption because they don't like to wait. They don't like the waiting period associated with the law of attraction, or feeling like, I feel like I'm constantly waiting on my manifestation. Okay, but what were you doing while you were waiting? Answer that for me. Because sometimes it's what you're doing while you're waiting and how you're waiting. Yeah, it is. Are you taking inspired action while you're waiting? Yes, inspired action is necessary. Yeah. And that's another one of the 12 laws of the universe that tie into both of these, in which is necessary and needed, that a lot of people, again, don't talk about, don't like to talk about, but is important. Very. Okay. When you get into the law of assumption, you're certain about what you want, about who you are, about where you come from, and where you're headed. Okay? That you're assuming you're in a different position. You are becoming this person. You are this person. You are confident in yourself. You're confident in what you want, what you can have, who you are. It's a different level, okay? And so what I like to do is I like to blend the two, right? Okay? You don't have to abandon one for the other, right? The hybrid approach works best. Use law of attraction. You use the tools. Like I said, the tools still work. The gratitude, the alignment, the openness to keep your energy high. Okay. And you use the assumption to lock in your identity and persist, right? Persist regardless of your external circumstances, right? Persist. People don't understand how much these two actually work together. It's not one or the other. It's not. Because when you're persisting, you're still waiting. Okay? You're still waiting. Because if what are you persisting for if you already have it? Okay? Think about that. These two are they're working together. They're not the same, but they're working together. Right? And I told you before, there is a period of receiving retrieval period, where you are receiving what you ask for. It's not always instant. Sometimes it is instant, and it can be instant. I don't always like things to be instant, because when it's instant, you can't go back from that. It's already there. It's already happened, right? But when you have that time, you can prepare. And if you go back in my other, I have some focus and reflect sessions that I go over that. I talk about the waiting time associated with receiving and how it's important and what you're supposed to do during that time while you're preparing for your manifestation. It's very important. Okay. Attraction is about asking, aligning, and receiving. Assumption is about being, persisting, and embodying. Okay. I don't feel like one is outdated. I don't feel like the law of attraction is outdated. I feel like it's still needed, it's still important, and people are still using it. Because you got to think, just like school, right? How people are constantly coming into school. We have to go to school no matter what, right? We have to learn. Learning never stops. But when you're younger, you have to start with the basics. And then you have to start with the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s, and then you work your way up. I have a 7-year-old and I have a high schooler. I have an elementary school child and a high school child. They're learning two separate different things. One's learning algebra, right? And one's still learning basic attraction and division. Okay? That's the different advancement levels that they are at. They both are still learning. Right? They're both still learning how to use what they know. Okay? And one's not better than the other. It's just a time frame thing of how long he's surpassed that already. He's already done that. So now he's ready for something new. Or that's basically, that's how I see it. I don't see it as one's better than the other. I feel like you get a really sweet spot when you learn to combine them both and also pull in inspired action, because they're both beneficiary. The inspired action, I go over all this in the blog. You can read it. I'm just doing a quick overview, so I'm not going as in depth, but I'm just giving a quick overview. But go to the website aapothecary.shop and read the blog. It's there, and it details, and I really break it down to what they both mean and how to use them and embody them both, and also bring in the law of inspired action. Okay. I said, think of it this way. Attracting is aligning your energy. Assumption is embodying in the end state, but it's inspired action that opens the door for your desires to enter your life. Without it, you're left wanting for results that never fully materialize. This is law of attraction or law of assumption. Without inspired action, you can't get to the receival mode. Okay, you have to get to the receiving mode where you're able to receive. You're home, like I said, you're home to receive and sign for that package. You're in the delivery room so they can deliver your baby. You're at the dealership so you can take ownership of your car. You're at the the mortgage company, the brokerage, so you can sign off for your home. That's that delivery. That receiving process has to take place. Okay. Attraction and assumption create the state of being, but inspired action creates the movement that's needed. Together, they complete the manifestation cycle. Okay, that's what we have to do. It's a cycle. It's the attraction, it's the assuming, it's the taking the action, and then it's the receiving. They all work together. Don't let these people tell you that, I don't do, law of attraction doesn't work. Or, law of assumption doesn't work. You can't just assume, they both work and they work best together. Okay. They work best together. Okay. Your inner world shapes your outer reality. Period. Who you think and believe that you are at your core, that's who you will be, and that's who you will become. Okay? The law of attraction is a beautiful starting place. It teaches you to dream bigger. The law of assumption takes it further and asks you to step fully into your identity of someone who's already has it. Neither is better than the other. Instead, they're stages of an evolution, right? They're different stages of an evolution. That's what they are, you know. Okay. When you combine all three, manifestation becomes less about wanting and more about living in flow. Start where you are. If you're new, attraction is an amazing foundation. If you've been at it a while, assumption may be your next level. And through it all, inspired action is the bridge that really brings your inner work into your outer reality. Ultimately, the universe responds not only to what you believe, but also what you're willing to move forward. So ask yourself, am I waiting for it, assuming it, or am I ready to live it now? Okay, that is pretty much the end of the blog. But I just wanted to, kind of get some FaceTime with you all and let you know and touch bases about this blog. I think it's very important, and it's some really good information here about the law of attraction and law of assumption, as well as the law of inspired action, and how to use all three of those. You can also book your personal session with me if you want to know, where you are in the process or what you need to do next. I'm here for you, and I have a lot of experience. Like I said, I've manifested a home. I've manifested, a very relaxed, peaceful, luxury lifestyle. I have a business. I've manifested these things, and I've maintained them. Okay, so I'm here for you. So visit the website and let me know if you have any questions. Get in the comments, like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next one. Look out for the next vlog. It's coming up. Authenticity. Authenticity online. What does it really mean? What it is and what it's not. Okay? That's a really good one. So stay tuned for that. All right? See y'all soon.